Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And hello, everybody. So grateful to be here with you as always, here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast Show. I wanted to share with you a number of amazing top visionary and change agent emissaries of the light that I met with recently at the City Summit in Los Angeles. There were incredible people there, really noteworthy people in terms of what they've done in the world, the impact they're bringing. I had a chance to meet and connect a little bit with a number of them, with billionaires all the way to world-changing leaders who are here to support people like you and to bring your message and your energy and your purpose out into the world. And just business owners who are making a big difference, non-profitable nonprofits, I want to say, that also are making a huge difference with their causes and missions. And so over a number of episodes, I'm going to be sharing all these amazing beings with you. And I'm not going to spend too much time, talking in terms of like the lead into these clips. But I'm going to go ahead and share these interviews I did right on the spot with them. I asked them different questions, but three primary questions I asked almost everyone. I asked them what it meant to them to be a spiritual rock star, because nearly all of them were of that timber and that sort of energy and that sort of impact. I also asked them what big changes and shifts they're making in the world so that we can understand more about them and get behind them and support them, and also learn more about how we might be supported, and also based on how they're making bigger impact, it may give us insight to our own thing. And it's kind of a way of networking, seeing what these people are up to, and then you have the chance to reach out to them. These days, you can reach anybody relatively easily for the most part. So you can follow up with them. We're going to put some, I'm going to look to put in some links for you to contact them as well in here if you want to. The main thing, though, is this last question as well. This is another main thing on top of everything else, is that I asked them what suggestions they would have for you, those who are spiritually based businesses that are wanting to rock it with your purpose in a bigger way, come here to do the thing you've come here to do in a wake way. Primarily, I was just asking what is going to help these people to move forward with their own world-changing visions. And so they gave their insights. Again, some of these folks are people have businesses that are, a few of them billions of dollars worth of business. So we're definitely going to get some really great wisdom. You're going to have people all the way from someone probably like yourself who's tuning in, who's super spiritual, to those maybe not as spiritual. Most of them are very spiritually oriented, I would say, in general. And definitely what was really interesting is no matter who I asked the question, what does it mean to be a spiritual rock star? Almost everyone had an answer. There was a few that kind of didn't know what to say because it was kind of impromptu. We just brought them on right away. But almost everybody had a viewpoint, and they were all very interesting answers. And I think it points to our own answers of what does it mean to really be connected, bring our purpose out in a big way, making the biggest impact that we're here to make, doing whatever that may be, and then to enjoy that and to be successful, so to speak, in terms of the abundance we experience, and that we get to reflect it in our bank accounts as well, in terms of being able to allow ourselves to enjoy abundance, which is something a lot of times as spiritual people want to throw out the window and not be too concerned about. But then when the bills come and when we want to get things or obtain services or trainings, we wonder, oh my God, I need money and I ought to have more, right? So So anyway, yeah, how do you get your projects funded? How do you make a bigger difference? There are some hints and clues within all of these interviews. And one of the interesting things I'll just say is that, and maybe I'll reflect on this again in a future episode, because there'll be a number of these episodes um, interspersed with full interviews that I'll continue to do, is that there's a lot of people, it was interesting, there's a lot of people that did say this. They said, just help one person, just hug someone, just be kind, just be loving. That was one of their biggest things as far as having a bigger impact in the world. I thought that was so precious and so deep and profound, that we make it so complicated when it's as simple as just showing up and being ourselves and being the loving presence that we really are, and we're here to shine and to radiate and to give from this place. And so these are individuals who are at this City Summit event in Los Angeles. They're all gathered together to learn more about how we can up-level our own games, network with each other, and also to do philanthropy as well for some of the charitable causes that were being sponsored at the event. So these are amazingly awesome-hearted people, and many of them are very, very spiritually connected and oriented. So today we have a few different ones for you. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them maybe you have not. We've got Baeth Davis, so I'm looking forward to sharing her with you. She's got incredible things. She has the best definition, maybe, or one of the best, most interesting definitions of the spiritual rock star. She really breaks it down. You're going to love it. And we have also Elizabeth Estrada, and she is a co-founder, I believe, of the Transformational Leadership Council. And so she's up to amazing thing, connecting with amazing people. And what a delight. She just brings joy, just listening to her, just being in her presence. So it's just so great, and I think you'll feel that. And then the last one was that I'm sharing today, again, there'll be many more coming, is Jackie Lapin. Jackie Lapin. So anyway, she's been a friend of mine for a long time, and in our hearts, connected in my heart with her. And we have known each other for a long time, and whenever we meet each other, there's a sense of coming home together, I believe, that she also experiences. And so she's just amazing. And so we have spiritual teachers intermixed in here with spiritual wisdom, practical wisdom, also how to get your message out there more, just guidance, inspiration on that. We have interesting information. We have a number of things all spliced in there. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. So go ahead and listen. Each interview is just 5 to up to 9 minutes, I think, at the very most. So just listen to these quick interviews and take in the insight and turn it into gold for yourself. If you get even one amazing insight, that's all it takes. Can change everything for you right now. So here we go, starting with Baeth Davis. So we're here at the day 2 of the City Summit. I'm so glad to be here with you, Jackie Lapin. We've known each other for years. You're such a, like I say, earth angel, and we're asking people here at the summit a few questions. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about is, what does it mean to you to be a spiritual rock star?
For me, it means to be in service to others. The work that I do is all about how I can help others so that they can deliver their message to the world, and we can together change the world for the better. So I think that and I'm honored that you consider me a spiritual rock star, but I think that the work that we do gives spiritual people an opportunity to help expand the spirituality in the world. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I know that's what's so amazing about you. I just feel your heart, and it's just like, let's get it out there. So it's so amazing. So can you tell us more about the big, shift and difference you're making in the world right now? Tell us about that.
Well, my mission is to help people get booked. And I do that in two ways. And one is done-for-you services, where we do radio podcast tour that introduces authors and leaders to 9,000. That's right, 9,000 radio shows and podcasts. And that's really exciting. We've been doing that work for 10 years. And the other thing evolved from those clients, many of whom said, well, can you book me for speaking engagements? And we thought, well, you know, we don't really want to be in that business. And there's not a lot of people that are in that business. So speakers still need to get on stages. So why don't we just do the research for them and tell them all the places that they can get on stages? So out of that, we birthed something called Speakertunity Cities, where we give leaders hundreds, if not thousands, of contacts in the market of their choice. Anywhere from 1,800 to 1,500 opportunities in either business or philanthropic and service, or groups, or consumer, all the places you'll touch the consumer, or even in spiritual centers. And this way, it makes it so they can spend their time doing what they love, which is helping, serving, and a whole lot less time doing the research that we've done for them.
Right, how perfect. I mean, speakers want to speak. They don't want to be hunting and pecking for, you know, opportunities. So it's such a beautiful thing, service you'll provide. And what advice would you have for others that, like you, I mean, it's in your soul to want to do this, right? To help to raise the consciousness in this way and support. So what would you tell other people, though? What advice would you give them for their visions and their missions and things they want to accomplish? What advice would you give that would support them to be able to do whatever they want to do?
Well, two things. One, don't hide your light under a bushel. You need to get out there and spread what you have inside of you that can help other people. So get out and speak, get out and do radio shows, get out and build a platform that's going to attract people to do that. And the second thing is, you know, many people say about speaking that it's the single biggest fear that most people experience. And the simple answer is that the people watching you on stage are not thinking about how you look or how you present or whether you are interesting. All they really care about is, do you give them useful information that can help change their lives? So if you get on stage and stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about, I'm here to help these people. They can't wait to hear what I have to say. And remember that you're in service to them. That fear goes away. So if you're not getting on stages because you're afraid of speaking, step on stage and remember that you're going to help them change their lives. And that is going to make those butterflies all go away.
Yeah, and one quick comment on that is a lot of the people I've interviewed here have said also, like, the littlest things are so important. Like, we're asking them, like, how to make a big difference. Say, why don't you try smiling more? Why don't you try just being kind? Why don't you, like, we just make a big deal out of these things. Get on the stage, just speak. It's going to help somebody. It's going to change their lives. Get over yourself. Just do it. And that's what I'm hearing from you, from my own consciousness. So I love that. So yeah, just do it, folks. Let's make the big difference that we're here to make, and let it happen, and Jackie can help you with that as well. So thank you so much for taking a few minutes to be with us today, and I'm just so grateful for what you do and all the levels that you do it on, and just thank you so much, Jackie.
Oh, Dan, it's a pleasure to be here with one of the great spiritual wisdom teachers in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, wow, it's great to be here with you. Elizabeth Estrada, we're so honored to have you. My heart and my energy is so connected with you. And we were talking the other day, and you're all about happiness, and you just bring that energy, or you melt people. You're just like, oh yes, we love you, happiness, right? So we wanted to ask you, someone that's so awesome like yourself,
ask away.
It's making a big impact. What does it mean to you to be a spiritual rock star?
Well, it means that I can impact people, and it's meaningful information that I share, and it comes from my heart, you know. And when you say rock star, you know, I do like music, but
think of that, virtuoso, right? Spiritual virtuoso,
right? Yeah, but. If you mean rock star being really important, I hope I am. I want to impact people and I want them to raise their level of happiness and consciousness. That's something that's important to me.
Cool, cool. So tell us a little bit about the big changes or impact that you're bringing into the world, and how, you know, a little bit about how you do that.
Well, a couple of ways. Everybody I meet, I hope that they understand and share some of my belief systems. But the other thing I do is I do teach at the university level, and I do a whole semester on happiness SOS. And
so awesome.
when you hear about it, you think, oh, SOS, that's an emergency. And then I
gives some urgency to happiness,
it
right?
is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not happy, you know, there's studies that show that stress creates illness, creates depression, anxiety, and all of that. And so, you know, it is an emergency. It's really important for people to be happy, to understand and laugh at life. You know, that's why I was kidding you.
What's the funniest guest I've ever had, right? That's the one you want to be. Oh, Bernie is awesome. He's all about laughter and medicine. I told you Bernie Siegel.
Yeah,
so,
I like him. He's so good.
But you're right. I mean, laughter is the best medicine, right? And I love when I heard about the Balinese, like they have a practice of smiling, right?
Yes, all the time. Yeah. And it's so funny because sometimes when you're smiling all the time, you know, people are going,
what's wrong with you? Whoa, we better watch out for you.
And then when you get them going, then they get it, you know.
So tell us more about, so you brought it into the university, like happiness, this is important. And so how do you help people to be happy? I mean, what do you do?
What I do?
Yeah.
Well, just I'll give you a short snippet of you know what I teach, and it's about the 4 goods you have to have in your life to be truly happy. And the 4 goods are being good, feeling good, making good, and doing good. And each one of them is so important to be in balance. Okay, being good, being conscious, mindful, to have a belief system. The feeling good is about health and well-being and laughter. Making good is about bringing money and resources into your life, because you have to sustain yourself in order to live a good life. And the 4th is doing good, which is not just about charity, but it's about how you treat people, how you treat strangers, how you take care of the environment, all of that. And so I'm able to take those concepts, which I have done research on from my master's degree and all that, and share that. And what I'm finding is when people are open to it, they get it. You know, you have to really be aware that that's something that's important to you. And everybody wants to be happy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, right? Isn't it what everybody says? I'd rather be happy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think some people are committed to misery, and you know, some people are just they're in that place, and you know, what can you do, right? So we reach the ones. I think that's a lesson for all our spiritual rock stars. Reach the ones you can. You need to let the rest go. Hopefully they'll get it eventually. So,
right. No, I got something that I think is probably more important. I kind of started identifying it recently, and that is we don't teach our kids to be happy. And parents who are really the prime educators in the early days, they weren't taught how to be happy. So how can they pass that on? So I'd like to see more people involved with sharing with kids, with teenagers, how to be happy. That would make a difference when they get older and they can live a good life. You know?
Awesome, thank you. And so one last thing, you're making a bigger difference in the world and everything, and we'd love to hear from you for other people listening in that will have big visions and missions. Like, what advice do you have for them to really kick that to whatever their next level is?
Well, one of the most important things is about believing that you can make a difference. And belief in yourself, and really take your heart. We all have amazing hearts. And if we got to tune into that heart, because if you really do, it gives you the gateway for going into the world and sharing. And it can be a person at a time. It doesn't have to be huge crowds. It can be one-to-one.
Right.
You know, and if you make changes and improvements and an impact one person, that could be enough.
Right.
You know, that person could take that and, you know, you don't know what happens when the seeds that you plant, right?
Right, right.
It's just, that's the best thing that I can say is to really understand that you are important. You don't have to be, you know,
Deepak
the
Chopra or
president,
whatever,
you know.
whoever,
you can
yeah.
be a rock star on a one-to-one basis,
Right, right.
right?
That's so awesome. We've heard that from so many people like that. Just keep it simple. Just one person, one smile, one hug. You know, that message keeps coming
true.
up, and
It's true.
and that is how even for people that do want to reach so many people, that's where it starts, one at a time, right? Basically.
Absolutely.
So I'm so grateful for everything you've had to share today, and
It's
just
an
such
honor
a
to be
pleasure.
here with you. Thank you.
Likewise. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. Much love and blessings for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Oh, wow. Baeth Davis, I'm so glad to see you.
I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, wow. And so we're here. We wanted to talk to you. We're talking about what does it mean to you to be a spiritual rock star?
What a great question. What does it mean to me? Well, the first thing is I think about the words, right? Spiritual rock star. And my idea of spirit is that someone has activated the spirit within themselves, that breath, which is what spirit is about, right? That breath within us is activated, and we're committed to being our true selves. So when I describe someone as a spiritual person, to me it means they're being real, and they're aligned to their design, they're aligned to their purpose. Rock star, rock is, I think of a boat rocking, I think of rock and roll. And so rocking, that rock word, it means a couple things. There's a solidness to it, and it also can mean not so ordinary. Like you're willing to be on the edge, you're willing to try new things, you're willing to break barriers, you're willing to not be cliched, right? And then star, well, that's light itself. So in a way, spiritual rock star, it begins with light and it ends with light. Right? So a spiritual rock star is someone I'm committed to my truth, I'm solid when I need to be, I'm willing to push the edges when I need to, and I'm not afraid to be visible. I'm not afraid to shine. I'm not afraid to be a star. So that's what it means to me.
Cool.
And it's not necessarily the easiest path.
Yeah.
Right? Because especially among women, they've done a lot of studies, scientists, about female brains versus male brains. And women have this dynamic called the power dead even rule. And in the power dead even rule, the women agree tacitly, not spoken, I won't shine more than you. But if someone dares to rise up, and this hasn't been brought into consciousness, many times the other women will try and cut her down. Right? Whereas men, it's more the competition. Now, yes, there's that challenge, I'll beat you to the death. But in civil society, men have found other ways to compete and that won't lead to death. But essentially, okay, I'm going to compete with you, and then like dogs, we're going to part, we're going to shake it off, we're going to shake hands, we're buddies again. And so I think a woman being a spiritual rock star has a wonderful opportunity in helping her audience, male or female or both, to shed the conditioning about women just going along with things, not having good boundaries, being too agreeable, being doormats, and then cutting other women down. And usually women are too wimpy to just say it to your face. So they just spread gossip. Right? This is covert destruction that happens, where typically men will be more overt, they punch you in the face or something, right? Or they're going to kick the wall. If they like, oh, I want to smack you, but I'm going to not do that. So I think women leaders really have an opportunity here to encourage their community to figure out what does it mean to you to be spiritual. How far are you willing to push that edge without falling over it? And are you willing to be a star? Because we're all meant to shine. One thing I've learned from the different systems I use to help people find purpose is that the number one purpose in humanity, and this, I've read Hands in the Rainforest, I've read The Complicated Hands of the Swiss and the Dutch, and the Europeans have complicated hands. And you know, it's interesting, Russians tend to have simpler, like more straightforward hands than, say, Swiss people. So I've read hands all over the world, and the thing that is so striking is that the number one purpose is to be in the spotlight with your creativity, is to be a star.
I've heard that a lot at your workshops.
Yeah.
You're a star in the spotlight.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. So I'd say to women leaders, you know, watching this, listening to this, be courageous and encourage particularly the women in your community to get over the visibility fears. Yes, people will talk. Yes, people will throw rotten tomatoes. That just goes with the territory. When you realize it has nothing to do with you. It's their own fear.
Right.
And their own anger at themselves for wimping out.
Yeah.
Right? There's all the more reason to shine. And I realize now, the more I just am relaxed and confident, and it's about the audience, and I have something to give them, the more responsive people are.
Right.
In a way, it's not even about me.
Right.
I'm a channel for the divine will, the divine light.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. When we don't make it about ourselves, it's about just being in that channel, right?
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it. That's what I'm all about. Right. Boom. Here we are.
Boom! Hey, boom! Boom!
All right. So great. So can you tell us? You talked a little bit about it, but tell us more about the big impact you make through your work. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I help people find their purpose, their soul's purpose, and I use two systems. I use human design and scientific hand analysis, which is a reading of the palm. And those are the main tools in my toolbox and in my team's toolbox. And so when someone comes to us, the first step is to identify the purpose and give it language so that the person can understand it. And typically we work with emerging and growing, scaling entrepreneurs. So how do they design their business model around their genius? And then begin to hire a team, because that's the only way to scale. And it's the only way you can lead, is to have support, to bring their gifts out into the world. And we use these tools, which essentially show us, oh, you're designed to do this, and you don't have to worry about that. And that's the gist of what we do. And it's so satisfying to see people getting paid doing what they love. And when they start to feel that prosperity, they start thinking, how can I awaken other people to their prosperity, right? Which is what the part of the work you do. And in that, how can I serve more people?
Right.
Because when someone isn't in scarcity mode, they're not in desperation, like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent? Which was not what we're designed to think about at this point in history. We're not. Our mind can't even solve that problem anymore.
Right.
Only our body can take us to where the money is. Once that, or my point is that when people are wrestling with those kinds of questions, they're completely blocked from their purpose. When they realize that those aren't the questions to ask, when the question is, how can I grow more, shine more, be a spiritual rock star so that I could serve, then things start to happen.
Right.
Magic starts to happen.
Right. Wow. So any last words of advice for people that are those emerging leaders and those that are wanting to scale up to the next level?
Well, if you're watching this, I would say to you, be brave, be bold, and know that there is help, there are answers, and there is support available to you whenever you're ready for it.
That's awesome. So thank you so much, Baeth, for your amazing articulation.
You're
I always
welcome.
enjoy it. And rock on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so much, Baeth.
I
Thank you so much.
appreciate it. Would it be all right to share about the class I have?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. I have the info. For people who want to know about their purpose, I'm doing this class in my Facebook group called the Life Purpose Lab. And it's a complimentary class. We wanted to know what the gap was in people's experience. And the gap was, what is my purpose? And people typically pay me about $1,500 for a reading. So I thought, what if I created a course worth at least $1,500, better than the last 3 classes that the person paid for,
Right.
where they could find out their purpose and find out their business model right in our Facebook group. So starting February 17th, People just need to join the Facebook group. It's called Align to Your Design. Align to Your Design. And be sure to answer the questions so you get admitted to the group. Even to say to a question I'd rather not say or I'd rather not answer, but please put something in there. And then we can approve you to the group and give you more details on how to participate in the class.
Okay, sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
For free, can't beat it. All right, and Beth absolutely pours on the value. So
Thank you.
I appreciate that about you.
Thank you. I
Very
appreciate
generous.
this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're listening to Spirits for Rockstar podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.